And we're here in Arizona for the annual Cheap Truck Challenge, where all the staff gets together, has a $2,000 budget to buy a vehicle and another $2,000 to modify.
So Cheap Truck Challenge it's a competition between your vehicle and your budget. I was just gonna go over a few things that we did with the old Land Cruiser here. I got this thing cheap and we did some work to the front axle. Has brand new burr fields. And then I also mounted a worn VR 8000 winch on the front. We've got less than $4,000 wrapped up in this thing, and we are going for wheelering in it. As you can see, it rides awesome, almost like a Rolls Royce. What would you expect out of a fine luxury SUV? I didn't have to mess with the tires because it already came with pretty good tires. They're not very aggressive and they're not very big, so I guess they're not really that good, but they did hold air and I didn't want to spend money on new tires. This Land Cruiser is badass, and I don't know why those guys would even think that they could outdo it. I do respect my friend Harry, his big mud truck. I mean, everybody's got to compensate for something, and apparently Harry has to compensate with that big truck.
My name's Harry Wagner. I'm the newest member of the Peterson's four-wheel and off-road staff, and we're here in Arizona for the annual Cheap Truck Challenge, where all the staff gets together, has a $2,000 budget to buy a vehicle and another $2,000 to modify it. This is a 1978 Ford F-150. They don't make them like this anymore. This is all steel. It's got a V8, it's got manual locking hubs, a manual transmission, a high pinion Dana 44 front axle, and a 9-inch rear axle. All of that means it can stand up to these giant tires that I spent my entire modification budget on. So I'm the newest member of the four-wheeler staff, and I think I probably want this more than Rick and Fred do. It's kind of like if Cheap Truck was homecoming, my Ford would definitely be the homecoming king. I think there's no question about that. And then it would stuff Rick's Cherokee in its locker.
Hi, I'm Rick Payway. I'm the editor of Peterson's Four-Wheel and Off-Road magazine. My vehicle is a 1989 Jeep Cherokee. This is probably one of the most iconic 4x4s known in the US and around the world. It's bulletproof, it lasts a long time, and they made it for many years. I bought it for $1,300. First major upgrade was the suspension. Put on a Daystar 3-inch lift, which is a puck up front and shackles in the rear along with an Adelaide. But since lockers are really important, I put those in too. They're Spartan lockers. Then of course, you gotta have bigger tires. So I went with Guard Dog 33-inch tall tires on Pro Comp steel rims. I mean, these tires are awesome. You'd never know that it was a remold. And XJs are a unibody style, so I put a steering brace on from OMC Off-Road. So going down the road, this thing works excellent. It's got a 20-gallon tank and a tow hitch on the back, so I do just about anything I want.
I've done a bunch of cool Cheap Truck Challenge vehicles in the past. This year I brought Dirthead Dave in as my co-host and my partner. We're gonna build something really cool. I really wanted something big, bad, with a big block, something we could put giant tires on, something we could really take out and abuse, maybe with 1-ton axles. Instead, I got us this. What do you think, Dave?
I've been following along for like 4 years, thinking we were gonna build something cool, and you got us this pile.
This is a Jeep Liberty. America, like the Liberty Bell. It's already broken, like the Liberty Bell.
It's got a rod knock.
Just a little knock. But it's a Jeep, and Jeeps have been dominating the universe for ages. And whatever the other guys bring, this is a Jeep. You can't beat a Jeep.
We are Team Dust Dogs. And here's our winning Cheap Truck Challenge 2016 rig. It is a 1986 K5 Blazer. It has a manual SM465 transmission, 6.5 to 1. It's gonna be good for rock crawling and hill climb so long as our 305 Chevy keeps running, because it's carbureted and it likes to cut out a little bit on the uphills, but we're gonna add tire and horsepower. 35s, nitrous. It's a convertible V8 4-wheel drive, solid axles. It's awesome. We're winning. There's nothing else you need to do.
We already are right at the edge of the budget because we spent $2,000 just buying this thing, but we're gonna try and keep it under $2,000 to fix it up. We're gonna do a few simple things, take it out, have a good time with it, see what we break, see what holds together, and show you guys how to have a good time on a nickel and dime. This is your Cheap Truck Challenge?
My truck is a 1975 International 150. I paid $550 for it.
So $550, and it's got a V8.
Yeah, Chevy V8.
Did it come with a Chevy V8?
It did not. I swapped it in there because the 304 International motor that was in it was not running.
How did you do an engine swap and keep that under budget?
I paid $700 for the engine.
Oh, okay.
So that's very cheap. And then the transmission was free. It's in my buddy's side yard, so it pops out of third gear, but hopefully that's okay.
4-speed manual?
Yes.
Yeah, they did that.
SM465. And then somebody named Fred made me put great big tires on it.
Wait, I made you?
You forced me to do it.
We happened to go to Reno and it's pouring down rain. We're standing in the mud and you got mud tires and I'm on all terrain.
Well, sometimes you got to hedge your bets.
This is a racing tire.
Yes, as far as you know.
Racing tires aren't legal for Cheap Truck Challenge?
Okay.
I was really feeling outgunned here at Cheap Truck. Figured I'd better find out what Rob had brought to this battle of budget trucks.
Rob, you're here on vacation. Thanks for coming out to go Jeeping with us. Tell me a little bit about your Cheap Truck.
This is my Cheap Truck. It's a 95 Jeep Grand Cherokee that I bought off my dad.
Really?
Yeah. First thing I did was I installed some coil spring spacers from Daystar, and then I trimmed some stuff.
You trimmed
Bumpers.
bumpers?
That's it.
Cleared the bumpers?
And I put a 231 transfer case in from a TJ.
Why'd you do that?
Had an all-wheel drive case.
So now it has low range.
It has low range. I've had it
And it also has a V8?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pull 2 spark plugs
Wow,
out so
wow.
that it can...
Vern has a V8.
Yeah, he's pulling spark plugs also.
No, he's not.
I want a V8.
His hood probably doesn't even open.
I was soon to find out that not only was I down 2 cylinders, I was down to just 2-wheel drive.
Cheap Truck Challenge it's a competition between your vehicle and your budget. If you're a kid, you're in high school, you're flipping burgers, mowing lawns, and you're not making a lot of money, but you want to go four-wheeling, this is our event for you. The idea is $2,015 to buy something, another $2,015 budget to modify it to go off-road. Now you probably remember Old Blue. This is the flat fender that we revived in Payway's backyard a few episodes ago. It's under budget and I can do some upgrades to it really cheap. First of all, I needed some new seats, and I found these seats out of a forklift. I had built a bracket to mount them in here, did some welding here with a Miller welder. I also put a roll bar in because, you know, falling over in your Jeep and killing yourself is not as much fun as you might think. I did add one of these giant HID off-roading lights. This one's made by Warren, but I couldn't afford the wiring harness, so I might be able to cobble something together, but right now that's all I got. Now let the other guys show you what they brought for Cheap Truck Challenge.
My name is Vern Simons. I'm the tech editor from Peterson's 4-Wheel and Off-Road magazine. This is my 99 Kia Kimchi. Got some tires from Discount Tire, some new steering parts from Rock Auto, suspension kit from Daystar, and locking hubs from Warren. But I only paid $1,500 for this fine steed, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
My name is Rob Bonney, and this is my first year at Cheap Truck Challenge. What I'm bringing is a 1964 Dodge W200 that we scored for $1,100. This is very close to the truck that I bought at 14 years old. It was a rolling pile of junk to rebuild and get running for me to drive. So it's pretty close to my heart. It's all based on what a 17-year-old should be able to do and what he wants to do. So I brought my secret weapon in, the 17-year-old. So this is Casey, and he basically put in about 100+ hours of work into this thing and a little bit of money, and we're here to rock and roll.
I'm Rob Peterson. I'm here with my friend Jeep and Joe, /mechanic, /co-driver, navigator, jack of all trades. And this is my 1960 Jeep CJ5 that I bought for Cheap Truck Challenge this year for $1,500. Got some shackles from Daystar, some steering from Onyx Auto to help it kind of go down the road a little straighter. I got a Warren winch, some cam cans. It runs. What else do you want?